Hi everyone. I was just gonna jump on here and wanted to share a card with you tonight. Actually, I guess I'm not jumping on live today, am I? I am going to record this and put this up at a later time. I've got a few pieces here to make sort of I guess a fun fold card. So I have one piece here that measures, let me just make sure I get this right, 3 1/4 by 10. And this is your regular 8 1/2 or 11 by 4 1/4. Sorry, this is 11 by 4 1/4, and I've got this here in that new wild wheat color. I've got 2 pieces of white, and they both measure 3 by 4 3/4. And then I've got a few pieces of designer series paper, and I know I have another one here too. So I have 2 that measure 2 1/2 by 4. Okay, and they're 2 different ones. So they're 2 1/2 by 4, but they're different pieces here. And then I've got one that matches the other one here, and this is 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, so if you're looking for your measurements, that's what they are. And I got this card idea from, oh shish kebabs, I had this written down. It's actually another Alberta demonstrator, so it's like kind of my sisterhood, and I can't remember her name off the top of my head, so I'm gonna have to think about that, or I'll put it in the comments. So anyways, I just love this so much. This she had called a card in a card, and I had to share it with you. I just thought it was lovely. And so I've got these pieces here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, so this piece here, and we're going to score it at 5 1/2. Now, there's my paper cutter. So we're going to take this, make sure that you get your cutting blade out of the way, and then we're going to stick this in here up to 5 1/2, okay, and we're going to score it. Okay, so you're going to get a score line like this right in the middle. You can't hardly see it, but I promise you it's there. So from one of the ends, you want to cut at 2 3/4. So it doesn't really matter which one. So we're going to just take this, and then we're going to cut off a piece that's 2 3/4. So now we have a piece that measures 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And this piece here where we folded, we're just going to fold this on the score line over like this. Okay, now if you have a bone folder, you can use that as well. And I know I have my paper trimmer still in here, making it a little bit complicated, but so this piece came off of here. Why is it measured like that? Anyways, no, I think that's right. And so this one's gonna end up on here like this on the front. So anyways, I scared myself there for a minute, but we got it right. So we've got this extra piece that we're gonna just tuck away. Now this other piece, I actually already scored it, but it is 3 1/4 by 10, and then you score it at 5, so right in the middle. And then again, you're going to go ahead and just fold that over and give it a good burnishing with your bone folder like that. Okay, so the way that this works, if we got all our pieces, we're going to take our one coordinating piece of designer series paper, and we're going to put some glue on the back. Now you could use seal or whatever kind of glue that you prefer. I'm going to just use the liquid glue today, and as you can see, you don't need very much, but this piece is going on the back, and we're going to just center it in here like this. This card comes together really nicely and is really pretty. I actually am not typically drawn to this wild wheat, but I think that with this designer series paper where it's built in, it actually is just kind of a nice combination, and it's not the focal point, so it kind of works out well. So this other piece that matches this designer series paper, and you could change this up if you want to, it doesn't have to match. And if you don't use designer series paper, you can always just stamp a piece of cardstock as well. Okay, I did that wrong. I cut the wrong piece here. Okay, this one goes on here. No, I just cut it to the wrong size, that's all. Okay, so this one here, let's measure this again. So this is 2 1/2 by 4 1/4. So we need this to measure 4 by 2 1/4. And we have it by 2 1/2. So that's our problem today. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. And I'm going to use my not nice paper trimmer that I don't love as much, because when I get the glue on it, it won't make me cry. I can clean it up after. I'm going to cut off that 1/4 piece there, and then we'll get to the glue later. You always need a backup tool so that when things go awry, you can just fix them. So there we go. So 2 1/4. This should have been 2 1/4 by 4. So go back and scratch your notes from what I told you and put in the correct measurement. Okay, so we've got it like this. Now this other one here is going to go on to the front. So I hadn't quite decided whether I wanted this one on or this one for something different, but I think I might actually go with the gray. I don't know. Hopefully I'm making the right choice here. I think so. I think that's just a little bit too much of the mauve for me. I think I like the gray on there. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the back of this. And I'm going to attach it to this piece that we cut off of the other piece. See, that one matches. That one fits properly. Okay, so these two pieces go on to here. So one's going to go on the front and one's going to go on the inside. But first we're going to just do a little bit of stamping on here. So I have my Moody Mauve. Is that what I want to use? Do I want to use the Pretty Peacock maybe? Because I might stamp on the front and Pretty Peacock. I'm going to try it, and if I don't like it, then I can always flip over my paper. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And what I'm going to do here, and I'm going to use this stamp, just the outline stamp. And I'm going to stamp right here in the corner, just like that. And I'm going to do the same on here. So this is the stamp set from the Cheerful Daisies stamp set that I'm using. I'm actually using the whole suite today. So this designer series paper coordinates with the stamp set. And then there's also coordinating dies that go with this to cut out all the different pieces of the stamp set. And I see my leaf die fell off of here. I was just using it, so I'm gonna have to find that. And then there's also some coordinating gems that come in here with it has lemon lolly, boho blue, and then it has the pumpkin pie or copper clay in there. And these are called adhesive back solid gems. So that all came as part of that kit. I'm a little worried about my leaf die. Anyways, okay, we will find it after. So I stamped these here, and I do have a center here for my flowers, and I might do that actually in the wild wheat. So this gray I've been talking about here is called Pebble Path. It's one of the new colors as well. I'm going to just stamp off so that it's a little bit softer like that. See, it's going to bring it all together. And then you just stamp it in like that. So this set actually, if you notice, it is a two-step stamp set, so you can actually stamp in the inside of your flower as well if you wanted to. I'm going to just leave mine like this today. I'm not going to actually color the insides of them because I think that this is busy enough. So when I put this in here, it's going to just, you know, it won't look so busy. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to get rid of my ink here, except for I want to stamp one of my cards, wishing you the brightest. Actually, on here, I'm going to stamp wishing you the brightest birthday. Just like that. Okay. All right. Let's put the rest of this together. So you're going to see why sort of you have two neutral pieces here. You could use also a color if you decided that you wanted to frame it out with a color, but this is kind of nice because it lets you write on here where you don't have, otherwise you won't have anywhere to put this. I also think this card would be really nice if you wanted to send a photo because you could, on one of these pieces, like on the inside piece here, you could just put a photo in here instead. So think about Christmas. If you send a holiday greeting, you could make cards like this for Christmas. And then you could write on here, you know, like whatever you wanted to say, like hope your holidays are great. Thank you from the Dukies, or, you know, wishing you the best. And then inside you could have your family photo or your pet's photo or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead in here and add the glue to the back of this. So now you know why she called this, I want to say it was, no, it's not Leslie. I gotta look up her name. I want to say it's Leslie, but I don't think that's right. Line it up with the side of the designer series paper, not with your fold, so that you're going to get a nice fold, and also so then you have a nice border here also. You'll see. So when you put this piece on, you're going to end up with you're going to have that staggered bordered look, which is really nice. Yeah, okay. So we're going to go ahead and add this piece onto the front, and I'm going to use some dimensionals for that. So let me just pull those out, and I'm going to put them right here onto the front of my card so that they get in the right spot. And then I'm going to just put a couple more right on the end here. And then between the ones on my card and the ones on the piece I want to add, we should be good to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and stick. Did I take this off? Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and stick these on like this, and I just want to get my border right here. I kind of like it to be even, and also the more over that it is, kind of to the right, the more that it covers. So the more room I have underneath to write, right? So now it's going to cover up most of my card, and it's going to look beautiful there. So another thing, you could have wrapped a ribbon around there and tied that off, but now you can decorate it however you like. So I might just get a scrap piece of paper and stamp a couple of or die cut a couple of those flowers out here. I've got one here in the white, and I'm going to actually just die cut them out. I'm not going to stamp them, because again, I think my card is busy enough that I don't want to introduce any more colors. So I'm going to go ahead and just die cut out some flowers. Let's see which one. So we've got the outline here, and you've also got an inside piece. So you'll see how these kind of go together if I can get them off. So you can even just, you're going to cut these out as two separate pieces. And you could have cut out a border here also to attach. And then I already have some leaves and some of these sprigs cut out, so I'm going to just leave that part alone for right now. And I'm going to just pull in here my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I might have to trim my paper down because I think it's too big for here. So let me just do that quick. I grabbed a scrap that's too big, but we can just modify as we go, right? Right. Okay, so we've got this here, and you're gonna cut out one here, and we're gonna cut out one here. So we only have to run it through our machine once. So let's pull out our plates, and so in order to do this, we need plate number 1, we need plate number 2, and then we're gonna put on our paper with our dies. And so the bumpy side goes down, and you can use a little bit of painter's tape, masking tape to hold them in place if you want to. But especially when you don't have to line it up with some stamps, it's really, you'll find that it's quite easy to run through. So the mini one is like kind of like butter compared to the big one. And I know I'm shaking you, so I apologize. But you just kind of wind it through here like that. And mine has a really good kick. It really just kind of shoots out the plates at the end. So you got to kind of wear it in a little bit. I use my big one a lot more than my small one, just because I have it set up all the time in my studio, and so I don't have to pull it out or anything like that. So you can see these dies here, they're like beautiful. Like, see, this one has all of the kind of details on it already that onto the die. So when you layer them together, they just look beautiful even without any stamping. So we could add a little bit of color to the middle, like just to sort of like the center of the flower if we wanted to, but let's see what this looks like just by itself. I think we do want to add a little bit of color to the middle there. So let's go back to our wild wheat that we have here. And we're going to just actually use, I'm going to use a blender pen because I have one here. And I'm just going to squeeze this together like this. Just give it a good little squeeze. And then when I open it, I have a little puddle of ink to color with. So I'm going to go ahead. You could use your watercolor brush with, oh shoot, I need to open this. You could use your watercolor brush. You could use your pastels. I'm just going to use my blender pens here because I've got them handy. And I like them because they can pick up whatever color. So if you don't have markers or a lot of tools, these blender pens are fantastic because you can just use your inks that you already have. And so I'm going to just kind of pull some of this color up. But similar to markers, you don't want to like color a ton with it because it's going to end up eating through your paper eventually. So you want to kind of just quickly add the color that you want to the areas that you like and not go over it too much. So really make sure you get it saturated when you're starting. And then it's gonna, I like it because it's almost like a watercolor because as you color, the ink goes off of your brush, see, like that. And so you get that kind of faded look that you get with watercoloring just by coloring, like coloring out. You don't have to do anything else. So add a little bit more here to the back and let's see what that looks like. Let's see how this is supposed to go. I get it all backwards. Just like that. Maybe we'll add a little bit just underneath of here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on so that I know where it goes, and then I'm going to just color a little bit more underneath. I just think it looks pretty with a little bit of the color in there. It's just going to soften it so it's not quite so stark against the background. And like I said, you could change up these colors to be anything you want. Okay, so let's go in here again and just kind of add in a little bit of color so that we're getting away from some of that stark white right in the middle. I'm going to actually just sort of dot it like this. See how you can just kind of make it into a marker? It'll do sort of whatever you ask of it. So now we've got some dots here right in the middle, and you can just kind of do whatever you want. There you go. Right, so you could again add some more color to the edge. You could add any of the other colors like some of the moody mauve, etc. But I'm trying to stick mostly with the white with maybe just a touch of the brown. So when you're done with whatever color, you just color until there's no more color. And then your pen is good to go for the next color. So you get in a pack of blender pens, you get 3 double-ended. So these last forever. And they'll use with, you can use them with any of your ink pads. You could also just use a refill and put a little dab onto of refill onto a block or something and then color off of there, and that gives you a really bright color. You could also, another fun way to use these is just to get a scrap of paper and use your pastel. So you may not have seen this before, but this is a lot of fun. And again, you can do this with a water brush or with your blender pens, but I just kind of deposit some color down and then you just pick up the powder with your pen and you color, and it's the same, the exact same. I'm just going to kind of add just a little bit on here just to show you kind of like, so you just color on there and it picks up the color, and then you can just use it to color just as if it was ink. So lots of choices here for using your blender pen. So now that I committed to this, I've got to kind of finish spreading out some more of this Daffodil Delight that I didn't really intend on adding to my card, but there we go. We've now got a Daffodil Delight going into white daisy, which I guess is really not that off from what actually happened. Okay, a couple of ways to use your blender pens there. So we're going to stick this on here, and I did pre-cut out some leaves. Let's see if they're going to be okay, because they're kind of in a different color than I've kind of strayed away from. But you know what? It might kind of break up the rest of the colors. I think I might be happy with that. What do you think? Just sticking a couple leaves behind there like that. I actually really like that. I think it breaks up some of the other colors we have going on and is creating a nice sort of silhouette. And then we've got these other sprigs that are also part of the die cuts. What do you think? I think that kind of finishes it. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to actually add this. So when we mail this card, we're going to probably have to add some extra postage because we are going to add some more dimensionals. If I can find them, here they are. To the back of here. So we've got quite a few layers on this card with it being sort of a card within a card. And so we're probably going to have to add a little bit of postage. Okay, I'm going to stick that right down there. I say 2 layers is usually good, meaning like 2 layers of dimensionals, but we've got already a layer behind here, a layer behind here, plus we've got an extra thick card. So make sure you check in at your post office before you ship this off because you probably need to add a little money to it. Okay, so I just put a little bit of white glue on there, not on the whole thing, and then I'm going to just tuck that underneath here like that, sticking out the top. Now be careful how you place this because actually when you open, actually no, I was thinking this piece was going to open, you're going to break that, but you're not. It's going to open all the way, but when you mail it, you don't really want these pieces sticking over the top. They're not going to fit in your envelope either. Okay, so we're going to just bend that down a little bit like that. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back. And I'm going to stick this one in here. Stick one in here. And stick one in here. What do you think about that? I think it's all good except for I don't really like the placement of this one. I think I might move that over there. See, I kind of like to put my stuff on, but not push it down all the way until I've decided, till I'm ready to commit. So I do have a few more of these, but I think we're good to go. I previously stamped those with the leaf stamp and then die cut it out. So in case you wanted to see that. But like I said, I do not know where that leaf die cut has gone to, which is sad because it's kind of little. This is going to be a challenge, but wish me luck. So anyways, this is our finished card here. I hope you enjoyed that. It is a card within a card. So you can open and write your inscription here, write another secret message in here, or like I said, you could put in here, you could stamp a message in here. You could also put a picture in here or a gift card. If you wanted to add a gift card, one thing that you could do is just take an extra piece of paper and you would just stick that in here, probably not quite this wide, and then just tape down the edges and you could slide your gift card right in there. So that's another idea as well for how to make that to a gift card holder. Wouldn't that be just fun? Anyways, there is a beautiful card, and actually I'm really happy with it now that we've added some color here to the daisy, and I like the wild wheat. I think it came together well. So I hope you enjoyed this. I will put the name of the original creator in the description for you in case you want to go check out some of her other designs. And happy stamping. Thank you guys for joining me. It's just lovely to stamp with you again. Bye.